Okay, our next operation is adding scientific notation. So adding and subtracting scientific notation works pretty much the same way. So it's the same steps, and I feel like these are a little bit more confusing. So bear with me and make sure you ask questions in class the next day. All right, so let's go over the steps to adding scientific notation. So the first thing we need to do is to get a common exponent. So we must get a common exponent. So what we're going to do is if we have two different exponents like 3 and 4, we're going to change one of them to be the other number. Okay, so we have to get a common exponent first. We always change the bigger exponent. Okay, so we always make the bigger exponent a smaller number. Okay, and we're going to use arrows to help us figure it out. So we're going to use arrows to help. So we're going to either point in or out. In to let us know it's getting smaller, or out to let us know it's getting larger. Okay. After we put our arrows and figure out how many times we need to move that decimal place, now we're going to add the whole numbers. Now we're going to add the whole numbers, or add the C values. Instead of whole numbers, let's write C values. Add the C values. We're going to keep the exponent the same. Exponent the same. And then we're going to put our answer in scientific notation. Okay, so I know that was a lot to process. So let's look at our first example. So again, the first thing is we have to get a common exponent. So we have to look at these exponents, 4 and 3, and figure out we always change the bigger exponent. So in this case, we're going to change the 4. Okay, so we're going to change the 4. So what's the difference between 4 and 3? So we move it to make it smaller by 1. So if there's a difference of 1, one spot equals 1, 0. If it was like 6 and 3, that's a 3 number difference. If it's 7 and 3, that's a 4 number difference. So that would be 4 zeros. So that means we're going to add a 0 to this 5. And it's going to become 50 because we have to move it one spot. And now that's going to become 10 to the third, which we're adding 3 times 10 to the third. So now that we have common exponents, we're going to just add up our whole numbers. So 50 plus 3 is 53. We keep our exponents. Okay, but now we know that 53 is not in scientific notation. So that means we need to make this 53 smaller because it has to be 5.3. Since we're making it smaller and we're moving it to the left, we add a 1. So then our actual answer is 5.3 times 10 to the 4th. Don't worry if that didn't make sense. We're going to do 3 more examples together, so don't stress too much. Okay? So again, the first thing we're going to do is look at our exponents. -5 and -2. Which one's smaller? Remember, negatives, the bigger the number, the smaller it is. So actually -2 is smaller. Sorry, -2 is bigger. So we're going to move that, make it smaller. And what's the difference between -5 and -2? The difference is 3. So it's 3 spots, which means it's 3 zeros. So this 4 is going to turn into 4,000. and then my exponent's going to become that -5. And my beginning number stays what it is. Then remember we said we add up our whole numbers, or our C values. So 4,000 plus 6 is 4,006. Oh, too many zeros there, Miss Myers. 4,006. We keep our exponents, right? We keep our exponents. And now we move this decimal place once, twice, 3 times. So we add a 3 here because it's getting smaller or bigger by 3. Okay, so our answer then is 4.006 times 10 to -5 plus 3 is -2. All right, so we're going to do 2 more together. Okay, so 2 more together. We're going to do them kind of quickly. All right, so we look at our exponents, 3 and 5. We always change the bigger number. 5's bigger, which means we make this 2 spots. So we add 2 zeros. We make our exponent the 3. Now we add our whole numbers. 500 plus 2 is 502. We keep our exponent. So we move it once, twice. We move it out 2 spots. So that means we add a 2 here. And then our answer is 5.02 times 10 to the 5th. One more that we're going to do together. Look at our exponents. Which one's bigger? 7's bigger. It's bigger by 1 spot. So we're going to add 1 0 to this. We make our exponent whatever the smaller exponent was. Rewrite our second half. Add up our whole numbers. 30 plus 1 is 31. Keep our exponent. We're moving this once, so it's getting moved out once. That means we add a 1 there, which means our answer is 3.1 times 10 to the 7th. Okay? So now I want you to pause, and I want you to do the next 4. So I want you to try C, D, E, and F. Okay? I'm going to put the answers up for C and D, and then we'll check E and F the next day in class, or the next time we have class. Okay? So try C and D. All right, so hopefully you got 7.04 times 10 to the 4th for that answer for number C. And then for D, 3.009 times 10 to the -5th. Okay? Make sure you ask questions if you don't understand next time we have class. And you're going to work on E and F, and then we'll go over those at the end. Okay?